Hi, I'm Christopher, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Moment, where we talk about food and travel. Today we're talking about travel tips, specifically the 5 things that I carry in my backpack at all times when I'm traveling. Now, a little bit of context. In a non-pandemic year, I'm normally traveling doing professional services and training across the country about 45 weeks a year. So I'm in and out of airports and jetting between car rentals and hotels all the time. This is what I'm keeping in my bag everywhere I go. So let's talk about the first one. Number 1, snacks. One of the things that you'll find when you're traveling is keeping snacks here. This one's looking a little crushed because it was on my last trip to Dallas. When you start heading into airports, you'll notice that prices are pretty high. Additionally, sometimes your layover is really short and you don't have time to get a full meal. Now, I'm a diabetic, so having something to snack on throughout the day is pretty important. The way that I look at it is I normally have at least a snack bar or a meal replacement bar, 2 or 3 of them in my bag at all times. Certain flights don't have any kind of service or doesn't have a meal, especially if you're traveling like a 2.5 hour flight or something like that. Maybe it's just under the amount of time, or maybe there's turbulence in the flight and they can't do the meal. So I am always keeping a snack bar with me at all times. Number 2, I always like to keep some kind of a bottle with me. So I've got a couple examples here. This is one of my apple bottles here. This one's great for both hot and cold drinks. I dig this one because it's kind of multi-purpose, as well as having something more along like this. This is really handy. My wife got this for me one Christmas. I had a bigger one that held more water, but I found that this one was just perfect. That way I could fill it up. It was basically the same amount of content that you would get in a normal water bottle. One of the things that you need to watch out for is dehydration. It's easy to forget to take in, water as you're traveling. Just like with food in airports or hotels, water can be very expensive. If you ever go to a hotel, you'll notice that they'll charge like $5 for a bottle of water. Additionally, some hotels don't even provide water for whatever reason. So one of the things that I do is I look out for these stations where you can do a refill, or maybe a restaurant that you stop by will fill it up for you. And a lot of hotels in the gym often have a water dispenser with filtered water. So I carry this with me everywhere I go. I keep it in my side pocket to make sure that I've got it at all times. Number 3, so all of us are carrying digital devices, either our phone or our iPad or our computer of some kind, maybe even our watch here. So one of the things that I've learned as I travel is to make sure that I've got charging packs. This one here is a really cool one. Charges over micro USB, but does either wireless charging or USB-A here. I've got another one. I'll put all of these brands here for these different ones in the description below. This is one I bought off of Amazon. This one actually is going to be a 45 watt charging brick. So if you remember the Retina MacBook, the smaller 12-inch MacBook, this could actually keep that charged. An iPad or an iPad Pro, and definitely a phone. It charges over USB-C, so that you can use, if you've got a Mac, the Mac charging, and you can charge either using USB-C or USB-A. So you could have 2 different devices charging from this. Again, it's got really great battery life, and it's really thin design. Now you have to watch out that TSA will often make you take these out. The reason I actually use a bag that does not have this built in is they will make you take that unit out, and a lot of the bags that have a built-in charging sort of battery are often sort of cumbersome to take apart. So I don't like that. I like being able to take this out very quickly and easily, and then just tuck it back in whenever I need it. So when you're on trips, again, delays or just long travel days, where you're doing 6 to 8 hours of travel, it's easy to run down in your battery life. And very similar to water in a desert, finding a place to plug in your phone is very tough in an airport. So having one of these is really, really important to make sure that you can make it all day long with your digital devices. Number 4, I love music, and I love audiobooks, and I love learning. And there are lots of apps that will allow you to store your music or your videos offline so that you can watch them while you're on a plane. So one of the big things, and it's probably one of the most obvious ones to talk about, is headsets. Now, you're saying, aren't you a tech guy? Don't you use cooler wireless stuff? I do, but let me tell you why I carry this specific headset here. So this is a traditional, this can plug into any jack here on a computer, as well as any of the monitors that they may include on a plane. Additional, I have the Lightning and the USB-C adapter here. I have a kind of an interesting little hack here. I've got tape and I've got this attached so that way I can be able to do this with my iPhone, my iPad, my Mac computer, my PC, or any other head jack that I can plug into. So I actually carry this everywhere I go so that way no matter what's going on, I can plug into whatever device is available to me. And if my wireless headsets don't have a battery charge and I want to conserve my battery life, I can always use these to be able to make phone calls. But one of the things that I recommend you also do is consider a pair of wireless headset. So these are the Beats Studio Buds. They are the cheapest, in my opinion, the cheapest, best Apple product that you can buy. Compatible with Android and iPhone as well as computers. These are noise canceling for 150 bucks. Now previously I was using the Beats Studio, which is the big over ear that were like $300 to do noise canceling. So I actually field tested these. They worked exceptionally well. If you've ever tried to listen to content using, say, AirPods or regular headset, just the amount of background noise because of the flight is a little overwhelming, and oftentimes you can't really hear whatever you're watching really well. Having a pair of noise canceling headphones are a really great investment to have. It makes all the difference, and if you want to sort of just turn on the noise canceling and not play any content, these are also great for that. So again, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, a lot of music on my flights, and when you're in the air a lot, you can end up going through a lot of content. These are especially great with 10-hour battery life, and again, very inexpensive. They support USB for charging, USB-C specifically for charging. So again, if you're using an Apple product or a Dell product with USB-C charging, this will just use the same kind of adapter to be able to charge it. So this is really great. Number 5. So this one may come as sort of a surprise. Again, when I'm traveling, I'm usually going to very different parts of the country. One of the things that I keep with me at all times is an all-purpose, all-weather jacket. So this is a North Face jacket. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. This particular jacket is one of my favorites. When you're in an airplane, you'll find that it gets a little cool. I'm in South Louisiana, it's 90 degrees right now. I look really ridiculous when I'm going to the airport because I'm bringing all this gear. But the reality is when you get to different parts of the country, oftentimes the weather conditions are very different. And when you're going through an airport, they're keeping it nice and chill there, especially on the airplanes. So having this is really nice so that way you don't find yourself underdressed or underprepared to travel. So I carry this with me. There's a couple reasons additionally why. When you end up landing, oftentimes weather conditions vary. Not only could it be a little chilly, but windy or rainy. So this particular jacket here dries really well and it's really breathable. So to me, it's the perfect jacket where you feel warm enough when you're on the plane, but it's not so heavy that you're sweating if you get off the plane. Also, if it rains, you'll have some light covering. It's got a hood built in, and it's got a ton of pockets. So oftentimes I'll put things like, my ticket or any other kind of thing that I need to store on my person. I don't necessarily want to put that on my pants, or I might not have pockets for it. This is really the perfect solution. Additionally here, it fits really well in my bag. I'll talk more about what I pack when I travel, but this is always in my backpack no matter where I go. It goes with me everywhere. It's just a good jacket. So you may not want to do this particular brand, but having a light pullover or some kind of a windbreaker is just not a bad idea when you're traveling, but having it is better than not having it, just because you don't know what kind of weather conditions or temperature you're going to be running into when you're landing on the other side of your flight. Well, that's it for the 5 things that I put in my bag all of the time. Now, there is more stuff I carry in my bag, but these are the essential things that when I travel, I make sure that I have, and if I don't have them, I feel like I'm missing something. So hopefully that helps you when you're traveling. We're going to be producing more of these pro tips for travel. This is just the beginning. I've got a ton of insight from traveling over the years. I'm going to be talking about things like 5 things I look for in a bag. What I travel with my check bag, right, that I use, as well as all the things that I use to get ready for my trips, from the apps that I use reviews to different websites that help me to know where I'm landing and the best place to stay in terms of hotels and car rentals and all that other stuff. Well, anyway, thanks for joining me for this episode of Take a Moment. We hope you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps this channel immensely when you do. We hope that you're doing well. We hope that you're staying safe. We can't wait to see you in the next one.